Long ago, in the Kingdom of Tarakuye, there lived a young woman named Nengi. While other maidens spent their days in the marketplace, Nengi belonged to the river. Before the first rooster crowed, she would climb into a canoe and disappear into the morning mist, returning only when a basket were heavy with fish. It was unusual work for a woman, and the people never let her forget it. Some laughed when she passed, while others whispered behind her back. But Nengi paid little attention to either, because the river was where she felt most at peace. And as long as her net returned full, nothing else seemed to matter. Among all the people in Tarakuye, however, there was one person who never saw anything strange about Nengi's life. Her best friend, Ogechi. The two had spent so much time together that many people rarely mentioned one name without the other. Nengi! Where Nengi went, Ogechi was often close behind. One morning, the two friends walked together towards the village stream. As usual, the place was filled with women fetching water and exchanging stories. Then, Shika noticed Nengi, and the teasing began almost immediately. Before the laughter could go any further, Ogechi stepped in. As always, she stood firmly beside her friend. Around that same time, Prince Mona began noticing a young fisherwoman on the river. Each morning, he watched her guide her canoe through the mist with remarkable skill. Not long afterward, panic swept through Tarakuye. A child had fallen into the river. Without hesitation, Nengi dove into the water. Moments later, she emerged, carrying the child safely in her arms. Among those watching was Prince Mona. From that day forward, he could not stop thinking about her. As their paths crossed more often, friendship slowly blossomed into love. Before long, they could no longer imagine a future without each other. When word spread that the prince wished to marry Nengi, the kingdom had plenty to say. Not everyone welcomed the idea. Many elders objected. To them, Nengi was too different. Inside the palace, discussions continued for days. The elders spoke while the king listened carefully. The queen also voiced her concern. She believed the future queen should come from a more respected background. Meanwhile, Nengi could do nothing but wait. And waiting was not easy. Throughout it all, Ogechi remained by her side. She encouraged her friend not to lose hope. At last, the king reached his decision. The marriage would have his blessing. When Mona shared the news with Nengi, she could hardly believe it. Everything she had hoped for was finally within reach, and no one celebrated harder than Ogechi. Her joy was every bit as genuine as theirs. But happiness can be fragile. Not long afterward, a frightened messenger arrived with terrible news. He claimed Ogechi was in danger near the river. Without a second thought, Nengi rushed to help her friend. Within moments, her canoe was cutting through the water, determined to reach Ogechi before it was too late. Then disaster struck. A powerful current threw Nengi into the raging river. She fought against the current, struggled to reach her canoe, and then she vanished. The following morning, the kingdom began searching for her. Every stretch of river was explored, but the only thing ever found was the wreckage of Akino. There was no sign of Nengi. Days became weeks. Slowly, hope gave way to grief. Ogechi mourned the friend she had lost. The kingdom mourned alongside her. But no one carried the loss more heavily than Prince Mona. Day after day, he returned to the riverbank, hoping for an answer that never came. Eventually, the search came to an end. Yet, one question remained unanswered. What truly became of Nengi?